Good afternoon and welcome to Match of the Day live from luxurious but snowy White Hart Lane. And it was only a team effort from helpful supporters and an extremely determined secretary, Peter Day, whose efforts were watched approvingly by Chairman Irving Scholar, that's enabled us to bring you a game from this famous ground, where Tottenham Hotspur have kept half of North London entertained for 88 years. This particular season, though, they've fallen short of the standards their passionate but critical supporters expect. And that's one reason why this afternoon's match against Liverpool is crucial. Spurs have players with outstanding ability, but still have not been able to keep up with the First Division pacemakers. Liverpool, too, know that a run of three-pointers is essential if they're to stay in contention for the Cannon League Championship. The cold attacked our chosen guest too, Mike England. He's got flu, and into the breach at the last minute comes, would you believe, an Arsenal man, Bob Wilson. Welcome, Bob. We'll be hearing from him throughout this afternoon, and I'll be particularly interested to hear his views of Bruce Grobbelaar's recent form for Liverpool. Meantime, let's catch up with the team news as we join match commentator John Motson.
Something of a milestone here because it's the 100th competitive meeting between these two celebrated clubs. Liverpool have won 45, Spurs have won 28, and 26 have been drawn. And Liverpool have had by far the better of things this season. They've beaten Spurs 3 times already. But on the other hand, Spurs beat Liverpool 3 times last season, twice here at White Hart Lane. Well, the team news from the Tottenham angle is that Glenn Hoddle is fit. He passed a test on a troublesome knee, so Spurs play a 3-man midfield with Stevens, that's Gary Stevens at number 9, and Steve Perryman, the anchoring players, and Hoddle playing behind Mark Falco and Chris Waddle. John Chidozie will operate as a right winger, and 18-year-old David Howells, who scored last week on his debut, drops to substitute. Liverpool have kept faith with Bruce Grobbelaar. In fact, the team is exactly the one which started the Merseyside derby match against Everton last week. And perhaps the point should be made that Liverpool start this match a full 11 points behind their Merseyside rivals in the championship race. And after today, both clubs will have just 11 games left. Well, we've had music from Chaz and Dave and from Jerry and the Pacemakers. Plenty of pre-match entertainment. The pitch, I must say, a huge compliment to Colin White, the head groundsman here, and his staff. Indeed, the referee, Alan Robinson, very happy with it. And the only difference, I think, between the two ends is that the goal mouth at the left-hand end will be harder than the goal mouth at the right. So that's the news I got from Ray Clements before the teams came out. Now then, Jimmy Hill is with me, and I think looking at that Liverpool team lineup, Jimmy, one wonders where Jan Molby's going to play.
Well, he's such a versatile player, it's always a bit of a mystery how he's going to be used in each match. He came here as an orthodox midfielder, but it's taken him some time to adjust to the pace of our league football. But if you give him time, his ability as an outstanding footballer enables him to dominate games. And I just wonder, going to the Spurs team and Glenn Hoddle, how devastating he might have appeared had his playing career taken place in less frantic midfield battlegrounds. Maybe Mexico's going to give him the chance to show us what he can do given a little more time. But certainly Glenn's an entertainer. They say stars don't exist these days. Whatever quiet game he's having, he's always showing spectators 2 or 3 magical moments, even on a quiet afternoon. Moments that ex-professional players like myself say, I wish I could have done that when I played. And they say that's what brings the crowds in. Let's hope it will do that in even larger numbers for Spurs with Glenn Hoddle in future games.
I was talking about the record between the two clubs. Liverpool haven't actually won a league match here at White Hart Lane since December 1975, so that's over 10 years since they won here in a championship match. They hope to break that sequence today to keep in the race for the title. Spurs, who've gone through a very thin time at home, haven't actually scored a league goal here since Boxing Day. They're hoping for better things too, and Tottenham are in the white. Liverpool with Sammy Lee wearing number 2 but playing in midfield, and Mark Lawrenson operating still at right back. My feeling is that Molby will be in the midfield as well. There he is. Johnston playing up front with Rush is my reading of it. Pitch certainly hard, but not as difficult as the one on which they played at Derby the other night. Header out was by Gillespie. That was Perryman. Header again by Stevens, and Falco's in here, but the whistle's already gone. There was an infringement. Falco, who's badly in need of a goal. He's only scored 1 in his last 10 games, although he is the Tottenham top scorer again this year with 13. That was Lee. There's Rush. Foot out by Mabbott. Still 1 or 2 absentees on the Tottenham side. Roberts is suspended. Galvin and Ardiles played in the reserves in the week. But here's one man who is playing. It's Chris Waddle. Chiedozi's coming in from the far side. He's got Falco and Hoddle forward as well. Still Waddle. And it was Gillespie who got a foot in. Danny Thomas will take the throw for Spurs. Gary Stevens is in there. Back heel was by Hoddle and Waddle. Grobbelaar did well. I'm not sure whether Waddle read that back heel by Hoddle quite quick enough to make the chance. Grobbelaar seems to be in some pain after making the save. Hoddle will take the corner. Miller is up on the near post. And the Liverpool physio did start to come on. And Grobbelaar stretching and in! Glenn Hoddle's corner seemed to confuse Grobbelaar completely, and it finished up in the back of the net with Waddle making absolutely sure. Hoddle takes the corner, Grobbelaar fits a hand to it, and whether Waddle will claim that. This is a better view of it. Grobbelaar gets his hand on it, he turns it up, and yes, Waddle will claim it. The 3rd minute, and 1-0 to Spurs. What a start. Here's McMahon for Liverpool. So Tottenham off to a flyer. Jimmy Hill.
Well, what an extraordinary thing. If the trainer there had stayed on the pitch and given him the treatment, Spurs wouldn't have been 1 up. There's no question about that. He hadn't settled from the injury. He played on. I suppose from a point of view of the public, that's the right thing to do. But the old canny professionals would have wondered what he was at in those circumstances. Very costly, 1 down, and there was no need for it.
Grobbelaar, who was obviously slightly hurt by the initial save, which he made from Waddle, then couldn't get the corner from Hoddle out, and Waddle forcing it over the line to give Tottenham the lead, and their first league goal here since Boxing Day. Falco up at the near post. Here's Perryman. Well, that's put the Tottenham crowd in good heart. They'd been beaten in their previous 3 home games without scoring in the league. And again, as Rush chases for Liverpool, stopped by Mabbott. Whelan, offside. Whatever's said about the fact that he was obviously in need of treatment, again, there will be 1 or 2 people looking at Bruce Grobbelaar, because he couldn't cope with the corner. Ought to be said, too, that Grobbelaar did have a problem with his left elbow, with which he battled on against Everton last week. Waddle fouled by Lawrenson. Perryman to take the kick. But he's moving away and leaving it for Hoddle. In comes Stevens.
Just thinking, John, that early pressure built up by Spurs then was Waddle on Lawrenson. We've begun to believe that Lawrenson is a kind of invincible footballer and that nobody can get by him. But Waddle, perhaps smarting from one of the two things that people have said about him not going past people for England, is determined to prove himself today, and he's giving Lawrenson a bad time.
Interesting, too, that Peter Shreve was telling Chris Waddle before the game to have a good feel of the pitch on the flank to decide how much he was going to veer out wide and how much he was going to play through the centre. Started off wide, but he's now through the middle with Falco as Hoddle takes it up again for Spurs. It was rushed, but it was blocked. And there's Falco with Lawrenson. Free kick to Liverpool. Lawrenson again. Mabbott is policing rush, and Ray Clements looking very assured. Hoddle. Good ball. Chidozie. Waddle in the centre, so is Falco. And it's Waddle again! And it could so easily have been two, because he got there ahead of Alan Hansen. And a sweeping move by Tottenham. Hoddle's ball out to Chidozie was brilliant. Chidozie's cross, Waddle's header this time misdirected. But a superb pass from Glenn Hoddle. Chidozie making the most use of his speed on the wing. That was Danny Thomas. Here's Hoddle. In a sense, Jimmy, 11 points behind Everton at the start of play. Liverpool desperately need to win this match to stay in realistic contention, surely.
Yes, and I think they know that. They say they're still in all the races for all the prizes, but I think people are beginning to believe that maybe that it's not their year for the championship. Whatever else might happen, but you never write them off, Liverpool.
No, we've learnt that lesson before. They themselves will be stung by the way Tottenham started here. This is Craig Johnston. So a free kick to Liverpool. Hansen is forward. Lee to take it. Mulvey's there as well. And it very nearly fell for Ronnie Whelan. It's a corner. Here's Beglin. McMahon. Do you think the wind's having any effect here, Jimmy?
I think it is, and it's one of those things that doesn't show up at home. I think you tend to sit there thinking they should be doing a bit better at times. On both of those crosses, I think the one that came over from Waddle just now, I think he'd be very disappointed he didn't bury that one. That was a very easy chance by the standards that this sort of football sets. And also that cross there went begging. That was a gift from the 6-yard box. And Whelan somehow took his eye off it, or the wind deceived him, and he missed a good chance to score.
Well, just over 10 minutes gone, and we must be grateful for the fact that there are signs here of scoring chances at both ends. It's what the game needs. There have been a few doer battles between the clubs down the years. Here's Hansen. Liverpool beat Tottenham 4-1 at Anfield earlier in the season, and also twice in the so-called Super Cup. But Spurs lead here. Header was by Mabbott. And here's Danny Thomas. Gillespie came off him, Waddle. This is Perryman. And now it's Sammy Lee. Thomas couldn't cut it out, and Liverpool have got 5 players forward. This is Mulby. Can go on one more. It's McMahon, who was bustled by Mabbott. And now Beglin. Whelan. Gillespie. Bright sunshine now in North London.
Why aren't Tottenham playing another striker?
Perryman. Chidozie. Back with Paul Allen, playing at right back now. Hoddle. Hansen across. Mabbott with Rush. Lee. Lawrence. Rush. Here's Johnston. Oh, he's turned nicely past 2 of them there. The cross was too close to the goalkeeper. Chidozie. Oh, Johnston, whose approach work was good, but the final ball not quite equal to it. Quarter of an hour gone for any latecomers. Spurs lead 1-0. A goal bundled in by Waddle from a corner, and another question mark against the Liverpool goalkeeper after only 4 minutes, although he had been injured just prior to that. Allen for Spurs. Spurs started a new fullback partnership last week when they won at Sheffield Wednesday. That was McMahon trying to set Rush free. Allen. This is Rush again. That was Miller dribbling against Paul Allen, and 2 ricochets there off Spurs' own players. Perryman running back the second time, almost putting Liverpool in an advanced position. Hoddle, Falco, Chidozie, Perryman, but here's Johnston.
Ray Clements there on the ball, looking as cool out there in the cold as he does on occasions when he's been our guest up here, Don. Perhaps there's a lesson there for Bruce Grobbelaar. You remember his first season at Spurs, Clements was a nightmare one. He went through that bad period, and at the moment probably is playing as well as any goalkeeper in the first division. Completely calm, all confidence come back, but he did go through that same kind of bad trot that Grobbelaar's experiencing at the moment.
Certainly did. Ray Clements is playing his 695th league game today, and 470 of those were for Liverpool. And it was Clements who Grobbelaar succeeded in the Liverpool goal when he moved to Tottenham in 1981, and Grobbelaar has been ever present since then for 4.5 years. Here's Johnston. Hansen across to Chidozie. Gillespie. There's a slippery patch on the pitch over in that corner. Indeed, as Tottenham's players were aware that one flank was much firmer than the other, which was why, depending which side he goes, Waddle was given something of a free roll today. But it's Chidozie who's playing on that side in the first half. Here's Hoddle. Whelan got it back from Johnston, then found Rush. Spurs, who are warming up too, remember, for an FA Cup tie scheduled for Tuesday here against Everton. Hoddle's ball in. Header away was by Lawrenson. Perryman linking with Thomas. Past Lawrenson, Danny Thomas. Tried to get it back to Stevens, and Lawrenson was there again. It's Hoddle. Well, that's what the crowds want to see. Very close. McMahon. Falco. This is Lawrenson. There's Falco onto Chidozie. In by Allen. There's Hoddle, well forward again. Half away by Mulby. Thomas. There's Beglin. And then Miller. Nabbit staying close to Rush. Here's Mulby. Certainly got a midfield role today, Jan Mulby. Gillespie with Waddle. Beglin. And Mulby this time looks for Johnston. Ball was out. Craig Johnston, who's been experimenting this season with a high-fibre diet, made famous in the tennis world by Ivan Lendl and Martina Navratilova. He and Sami Lee have been having rice for their pre-match meal, I gather. Here's Hoddle. Beautifully done. Hansen's header out. Through the first half in this First Division match, Spurs 1, Liverpool 0. And Tottenham, good value for the lead. That was out as well. This is Gary Gillespie. Miller with Rush. Mulby, nicely done. Rush again. It's Perryman who was a bit high. Free kick to Liverpool, given for dangerous play. Gillespie looks for Whelan. But it may be slippery on that side at that end as well. This is Paul Allen. Falco to Hoddle, offside against John Chidozie. But the Tottenham supporters appreciative of the fact that their side are playing a great deal better in the opening period of this match than they have at White Hart Lane for quite some time. Whelan. It was Lee. And now it's Waddle. It's got Falco and Chidozie to his right. Falco, and it just wouldn't run on for Chidozie. But it was close. Johnston. Beglin. Rush. Not much coming off for Liverpool at the moment in a forward sense.
If there is a difference in the teams at the moment, it's Glenn Hoddle. Men of his height are not supposed to be able to stand up on surfaces like this. They're supposed to really favour those with low centres of gravity, but there's no question about it. His skill is shining through this game, and there's a chance.
Johnston took it up from Lee. Now Rush. And between them, the two Tottenham fullbacks, Allen and Thomas, averted the danger there. Here's Hoddle. He's holding it, having a bit of a problem with the sun, actually, as indeed anybody would be facing that goal to our left. But certainly Thomas played his part in snuffing out that last Liverpool attack. Here's Waddle. Stevens and Falco positioned on the 6-yard line here. Comes out to Mulby. And again rushes the lone figure up front. Johnston's joining him now. Down this side, Liverpool have got 4 players the other way, but Rush found a Tottenham shirt instead, which was Stevens here. Now Hoddle looks for Stevens again against Gillespie. Hoddle. Mulby. Had a quiet word with Perryman about the challenge on Mulby there, which the Dane didn't really appreciate. And I don't think Gary Stevens appreciated that challenge from Mark Lawrence either. The referee has said get on with it. Two former Brighton and Hove Albion players there tangling. Mark Lawrenson. Against Gary Stevens. Here's Lee. Into Johnston. Falco to Waddle. This is Thomas. And now Waddle. Gillespie's clearance. Now McMahon. Whelan, beaten by Waddle. Lawrence. Well, there's a lack of the usual togetherness about Liverpool. There has been in recent matches, most observers seem to feel. Don't seem to be quite in their well-worn groove. We've been playing for half an hour, and Spurs certainly looking the more assured side, certainly more progressive in attack, but as always, taking nothing for granted against Liverpool.
I was just thinking that under conditions like this, if it's possible, 1-0 means more than 1-0 in terms of a lead, because it's not easy to create on days like this, and so that lead is quite formidable in the circumstances. But we are, of course, seeing a rather new-looking Spurs defence play, and they haven't been renowned for their defensive qualities in recent years, and it's just another attempt, I think, to get some solidity into it. So it's a big test of that new-look defence to see if they can hold out, having this 1 goal or more lead.
Well, let's see how valuable it proves. That's Chidozie. Certainly the Tottenham decision to play Chidozie wide on the right seems to have been fairly successful. Hansen. Flag is for offside, but Jimmy's point about the Tottenham defence, the two fullbacks played together for the first time on either flank at Sheffield Wednesday last week, Paul Allen and Danny Thomas. That's a fresh pairing, and Mabbutt's had quite a long run in the centre of the defence recently, playing with Miller today. Roberts still suspended. Here's Lawrenson. This is Gillespie. Miller's header. Perryman. Hansen. To Hoddle, again that first time ball to Waddle. Allen to Chidozie, he's onside, he's got Falco in the centre, Stevens is coming in from this side, and Grobbelaar's missed it again, and he got away with it because it dropped more to Mulvey than it did to Mabbutt. Once again, the goalkeeper wasn't confident. And Spurs must be sensing that now and try to get crosses like that in when they can. Chidozie. And Hoddle is back covering because Mulvey was threatening there. Stevens. Gillespie. Perryman. Hoddle. Helped on again. And there was no flag. But after the ball had gone, Glenn Hoddle was flattened by Alan Hansen, so it's going to be pulled back for a free kick anyway. And the Tottenham fans haven't had a half as good as this in an important league match, or in any league match for that matter, for quite some time. There seems to be a bit of bite and pattern and confidence about the team today. Chidozie. The supreme test. Was McMahon up to rush? Here's Lawrenson. Liverpool have got 7 players, 8 players in the Tottenham half. Rush and Mabbutt. And Clements made it look easy. That's quite a good contest. Mabbutt staying close to Rush, who's been the only target man for much of the time for Liverpool, with 10 minutes left in the first half and Spurs still leading 1-0. Here's Hoddle. Offside, 2 of them. Stevens with the players who tangled, and Spurs have the free kick. This is Hoddle. Oh, he's rifled one again! Well, Robillard, the last thing I would imagine he wants is to be peppered from long range by Glenn Hoddle, whose venom from that distance is well known. Lee, Johnston, nicely done. That was Miller. Waddle. Hoddle looks for Chidozie. And the throw intercepted by Danny Thomas, who read it beautifully and tried something ambitious there. It was meant to be a shot, although had Robillard not gathered it, Spurs had Falco coming in from the far side. As you'll possibly see from this, it would have been a rebound chance, possibly. Here's Lee. Molby. Johnston with Mabbott, and now Perryman. Beglin coming in strongly on Chidozie there. This is Whelan. And Chidozie, for the moment, is still picking himself up as Molby gets possession. And here's McMahon. Tackle was by Steve Perryman, and a free kick's been given. Two dynamic little men there in the middle of the field in contention. No hard feelings, and a free kick to Liverpool, which Molby will take. Gillespie starts a run. Miller's header out. Whelan, Beglin, offside against Gillespie in the centre. Referee Alan Robinson is in his last season on the league list, and he won't forget that match at West Ham last year when he had to go off at half-time with Achilles trouble, but today, fortunately, he appears to be 100%. Here's McMahon. Rush. Volleyed forward by Thomas. And Gillespie against Waddle. And Waddle may be in. No, quite what you say. First, there wasn't a chance, then there was, then there shouldn't have been. And in the end, Waddle was denied his second. Molby, Lawrenson. Forward again by Mabbott. Spurs are keeping Liverpool under examination here. It's Waddle's cross, but Robillard's unchallenged this time. To go in the first half. Spurs 1, Liverpool 0 in a match that Liverpool cannot afford to lose if they're to remain realistically in the title race. This is McMahon for Liverpool, looking for Johnston. That was a good-looking ball until Miller read it. Here's Thomas. Gillespie. Alan Hansen. Lawrenson. spinning off Mulby, and Tottenham's defence, by and large, have looked pretty secure in this first half. Clements has not been called upon to make anything other than routine saves. Although he would agree that perhaps the goal mouth where Grobbelaar has been is the more testing one. Here's Waddle. It's Chidozie. So 3 minutes left in the first half. Spurs lead by the only goal. And I don't think any neutrals would argue about the merits of that at this stage. They've been the more enterprising team. Liverpool, perhaps not quite themselves. Kenny Dalglish deciding not to select himself in the 12. He's 35 years old on Tuesday, by the way, the player manager. Gillespie to Hansen. Anybody would complain about the way the pitch was stood up to the test either in the first half. It's Mabbott's pass back. He's looked very comfortable. Mulby. To Thomas, and he's got it inside for Falco, and here's Chris Waddle straight at the goalkeeper. Good move though. McMahon forward looking for Johnston. Beglin, the referee's already blown for the free kick to Liverpool. Now here's an opportunity right at the end of the first half for Liverpool to have a say. They've got Lawrenson forward on this side. And from the Spurs point of view, a time to pay attention. Rush is in the middle, Mabbott was with him. Play on, says the referee. And Lawrenson finds himself the furthest forward for Liverpool, but it was Miller that got the ball back. So we're entering stoppage time at the end of the first half as Chidozie takes his second heavy fall. And McMahon wants to get on with it, and the referee's quite happy about that. Whelan plays it on. Sammy Lee now over on the left-hand side. Here's Beglin. Reeled up a bit at Miller there, but he was able to cope. Only Rush actually was in the penalty area then for Liverpool. It's a bit isolated at times. That's Mulby. Half away by Stevens. The Spurs crowd whistling rather anxiously for half-time because that's one of the more prolonged Liverpool spells in the Tottenham half. And Spurs not really getting the ball away so well this time. Free kick again. It's Mabbott. Mulby sizing things up from here. Offside flag was up anyway against Johnston, but it's gone back down again. And there might have been a little bit of controversy had the ball been put in the net there, because the linesman initially was flagging, but it won't matter, because as Tony Murphy with the yellow flag goes off, so do the players, and the half-time debate almost certain again to involve Bruce Grobbelaar, whose injury, one should say, to start with, followed by lack of attention because they took the corner, led to the goal by which Tottenham lead. Having said that, Spurs were on the half, the more direct side, the more likely scorers could in fact have added to that, and at half-time I don't think too many people would argue with the score of Spurs 1.
Might come back, so you can take your pick as we join match commentator John Motson.
Well, if they're going to stay in contention for this championship, they've got to come back. They've won it 7 times in the last 10 seasons, Liverpool, a tremendous record. But Everton have set such a pace with their recent sequence of wins, another one yesterday, of course, against Aston Villa, that Liverpool needed 3 points today. And bear in mind that they've only won away 4 times in the league, Liverpool. One of them was in our live game at Watford, admittedly, but they haven't taken maximum points on opposing grounds often enough to stay with the leaders. So that's the test facing them, playing now from right to left in the second half. Here's Jim Beglin. Sammy Lee. That's Lawrenson. Looking for Johnston. It's Mabbott with him. Weather permitting, both these clubs have a busy week ahead in cup football, so what happens today could have an effect confidence-wise. Spurs to play Everton, as I said, here in the FA Cup. Liverpool to play Queen's Park Rangers in the Milk Cup semi-final second leg, and then Watford or Bury in the FA Cup. Perryman. Chidozie. And Beglin. And Lawrenson's onside. He's got McMahon in the centre with Rush, but every Liverpool cross so far has come safely to rest in the hands of their former goalkeeper. That was Rush. Miller penalised. Gary Gillespie started a run now into the penalty area. Falco has gone back to mark him, and it went over his head. Might also be worth making the point that while Liverpool have won 7 championships in 10 seasons, Spurs haven't won the league for 25 years. 1961, the year of the double, the last time the championship came to White Hart Lane. They've been far more successful in cups. There's Lawrenson, Craig Johnston and Paul Miller. Tottenham have just taken up the 2-year option on Paul Miller's contract. He's had his critics here, but he's never been effectively replaced permanently. Should also be said that Liverpool are playing currently without Paul Walsh, who was in such sparkling form in front of goal when he got injured. Up front with Ian Rush, who's there now. And Johnston's the player who's been pushed up further forward in Walsh's absence as a striker. Manager preferring to do that than play himself. That is Johnston. And it was half away by Chidozie. Here's Hansen. Spurs also needing an impressive performance to keep faith with their supporters. The gate was down to just over 13,000 for the last home match against Coventry, and that certainly isn't in the Tottenham tradition. Chidozie on to Waddle. Now Lawrenson and Thomas. Forward by Miller. Then Hansen. Appeals for handball by the crowd, but not by the players, and it's Danny Thomas who's sorting it out, but Mulby gets it back. Johnston. Rush waiting in the centre. Again, he's very much on his own, but Whelan's joined him now. And it's going to come to McMahon. Fine save by Clements. At last, Liverpool got some more bodies in the area. Perryman half cleared it, but it went to McMahon. And Clements, at the expense of a corner, has made the save. Mulby, Gillespie and Rush now await the corner. And Gillespie gets up. And Rush didn't make it. And another good save from Johnston this time, who holds his head. And Ray Clements, at 37, has made 2 saves in quick succession that say everything about his consistent career. And Liverpool are the last club that need to be told about it. Beglin. Lee. McMahon put it through, and offside against Beglin, who's probably knew he was anyway, but from one goalkeeper we talk about another, and Clements here was absolutely certain in what he was doing. The first save was a fine one. The second one here from Johnston was first class. Those who feel that Ray Clements ruled himself out of international football too early. It was his decision, and I wonder if he regrets it. This is Allen. Perryman. Forward again by Hansen. Liverpool have started the second half in determined fashion, getting more players forward, and it's beginning to pay off. It's also demanding something of the Tottenham defence that they weren't asked to do in the first half.
In fact, John, the Tottenham defence brought that upon themselves, all that pressure. Danny Thomas threw the ball away needlessly over on the left and gave them, Liverpool, a chance to score twice.
Well, they did indeed have 2 opportunities, but it's still 1-0 to Tottenham, and here is Danny Thomas now in attack. That was a deflection, and Robillard dealt with it very capably. Thomas not naturally left-footed, but he can certainly use it. Here's Johnston. Oh, he's turned Miller well. Johnston's cross, but it's over. What about Ray Clements, Jimmy?
Well, he's been in such superb form. I think it's a great tragedy that he's not our #2 goalkeeper, at least in Mexico. We can't afford... We haven't got that much talent in all the positions that we can afford to turn down players of that ability, and he's got the experience. If anything happened to Shilton, we would probably, you'd be able to put him in without a worry and have the best 2 goalkeepers if we had not the best in any other position. But that's not the way life works. I can't see him going now. I think Bobby Robson will stick to what he's got. He's determined at the moment to ignore all the criticism and go sailing on to Mexico with the lads he believes in, and why shouldn't he do that? He's going to get the criticism if it goes wrong.
Here's Lee. And Mulby! Oh! Hit the frame of the goal. Johnston. Away by Miller, whose hesitation might have led to that initially. But Liverpool have come out for the second half looking a lot more threatening. And when that ball came in, Molby's header clipped the angle where post joins crossbar. And it's not surprising that he's scored 14 goals this season for Liverpool, the big Dane. Admittedly, 6 have been penalties, but there's no doubt he knows where the goal is, and they're getting players forward now to support Rush. Offside against Chidozie. There's a flag up for offside there too. This was Ray Clement's view of what happened there when the Molby header came in. It was well placed and he couldn't have done much about that. Just worth emphasising again the point I made about Ray Clements and the England team. He did in fact declare himself unavailable for future selection, and Bobby Robson understandably took him at his word. It wasn't the manager's decision. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Spurs 1, Liverpool 0, but a brisker, more emphatic Liverpool so far in the second half. Stevie Perryman finding himself the furthest Tottenham player forward then. His enthusiasm undimmed, but somebody will have to get that now. It's Mabbott. In by McMahon. Away by Miller. Here's Chidozie now then. He's got a big man to beat there in Molby. So the back heel finds Paul Allen. Chidozie wants it back on this side. It caught Beglin's heel. Whelan. Liverpool throw. Not a bad time either, Jimmy, to say how well the pitch has played.
It's played very well indeed, and the players have entertained us on it. Not easy. Test you to the full. You can use some skills when you're at offside. Some skills work when you're well balanced, but when you're having to run onto a ball at pace and deal with an opponent at the same time, that's when it tests every player, however skillful.
The referee too, I must say, has applied the advantage whenever he can to keep the game moving, and that's good to see. Here's McMahon. Oh, that's a nice turn. The pass ahead was too strong for Rush and Johnston. Liverpool have already had 4 goal attempts in the second half, which is twice as many as they had in the entire first 45 minutes. So that reflects just how the game has shifted, or the balance has. And whatever happens championship-wise, Liverpool are still, remember, chasing 3 other trophies. FA Cup, Milk Cup, and here's Rush. Beating Mabbott. And beautifully played by Paul Allen. And here's Chidozie. That was good football on the right flank by Spurs. And Allen gets it in, and Falco's there. Jimmy Hill beside me, almost purring with appreciation there.
Worth the transfer fee in its own, that one bit of magic from Allen. Coolness in defence, took it out beautifully, started this attack, which almost ended with a goal that might have clinched the result once and for all.
Yes, Paul Allen in that right-back position, which was where he played in the latter part of the season for West Ham, when he really came to Tottenham's attention in a big way before the transfer. I think he's probably having a better time there today than he's been having in the more forward role when he's played virtually on the right wing for Spurs. Here's Waddle, who's on the left wing. That's a corner off Lawrenson. So have Tottenham weathered the little storm at one end. Here's Hoddle. Miller, oh, didn't make contact, Beglin did. Perryman. In again by Hoddle. Here he is again, Waddle now. Waddle shot. I mentioned Liverpool were after 3 cups and got as far as talking about 2 of them. I do have to say that the Super Cup doesn't really deserve a mention in the same breath as the other 2. Much more of a manufactured competition. That was Miller. Forward by Hansen. Offside against Craig Johnston on that far side of the pitch. Thomas. This is Morby. So we've been playing just over an hour here at White Hart Lane. Spurs 1, Liverpool 0. Chris Waddle the scorer after 3 minutes, and that's how it stayed ever since. Stevens in there, Waddle. Seems to be roaming around to quite good effect on the flank 1 minute, and then in the centre, which was the way Tottenham planned it, depending how he felt the foothold was on the wing. Hoddle. Foul by Gary Stevens. Use of the elbow. Johnston, and Rush is closing in here, and it was one way of dealing with it by Danny Thomas, and at least it was decisive. Gillespie is forward for the corner, which Whelan will take. Molby's also in there. Oh, just brushed Gillespie's head. McMahon didn't get a hold of it. Oh, who says Clemens doesn't make mistakes? I think he sees the funny side of it, though, and he can afford to.
Just making for the back four awake there, John. Keeping them on their toes.
Well, you can always smile when nothing comes from it. Thomas. Molby. A good match again, Gary Mabbott there in the centre of the defence. Such a versatile player. Johnston, a lovely back flick. And Chidozie trying to defend and not doing it very well, and Allen shows them how. Get rid of it. Hansen. And McMahon's made a great run. He stayed onside. Whelan following up, and Spurs fully stretched, but able to cope. And a terrible ball by Chidozie just when Stevens had put him in a good position. There was some good running by McMahon off the ball there, and it very nearly put him into a shooting position ahead of the strikers. Spurs needed 3 players to get the ball clear, but they brought it back on themselves. Johnston. Well played. And Rush still denied a goal-scoring opportunity. I don't think he's had one today. It's funny how your luck goes as a striker. They just don't seem to be able to get Rush into a scoring position at the moment. Waddle was impeded by Beglin. Waddle has now used this free roll to wander across to the right. Just drifting back inside now as Perryman prefers to take the kick himself. Stevens is pushed up on the far side. Falco is in there. And Falco heads on. Lawrenson away from Stevens. Liverpool still preparing to run McMahon through the back, and he's got there again, forcing a corner. They're pushing and probing in typical fashion now, Liverpool, just nudging further and further into the heart of the Spurs defence. Plenty of players up for the corner. That was Hansen heading down, Thomas miscued, and Rush played it back, and Whelan fired it, and it came to Morby, and that's the equaliser that Liverpool have been threatening to score. Clement's beaten low to his right, and Morby scores his 15th goal of the season to put Liverpool level after 66 minutes. Tottenham really had the chance to clear it. Danny Thomas felt could have done first time. It was played well though by Liverpool, then given away again by Spurs, and Morby found the corner. So the Liverpool midfield, which have given them a platform since half-time from which to announce that they're still very much in the match, produces the goal which makes the scores level, Jimmy.
It does indeed, and Spurs again had the chances to clear, as you pointed out, and rather than thump it out, tried to cushion the ball off to a white shirt, and both times Liverpool accept chances like that very gratefully indeed. In fact, we do know, of course, that they appear to be having quite a large share of the television time at the moment. They're almost like a home team to us, we watch every week. And I was wondering whether we'd have a competition, why they have so much of the play and can't get goals. Maybe we should have a viewers' competition on that. But they found the answer there by accepting, not looking a gift horse in the mouth, with a perfect shot from a man who has the skill if you give him the room.
Yes, you can never take liberties with Liverpool, and just in case Spurs thought the game was going to be straightforward at half-time, they've now been curtly reminded that it's far from that. And here's Grobbelaar. Just waiting for the ball to go inside the perimeter. It's a good strike by Jan Molby. He really is a beautiful kicker of the ball. Halfway through the second half in this First Division match at White Hart Lane, and Liverpool are back in business, just underlining again that they're always dangerous when they're behind. So what was an anxious test for Liverpool at one point in the afternoon now becomes an interesting examination of how badly Tottenham want to win this game. Can they regain the domination they had earlier? Chidozie, Hoddle, certainly haven't had the freedom in this second half that they had in the first, Spurs, and Liverpool are surrounding the man in possession. That was Perryman. This is Thomas, though. Chidozie stopped by Gillespie. And Hoddle put a foot in there on Gillespie when the ball had gone. Mulby, oof, a lot of space out here. Ronnie Whelan with Beglin overlapping. But Beglin's in a lot of room. And I don't think Whelan was aware of it. Two Republic of Ireland internationals on the left flank of the Liverpool team. Jim Beglin has taken over that position. Falco forward, but was turned back by Beglin. And we have a completely different game now in the second half. Spurs made the place before half-time. Liverpool have controlled things since. And the net result of that, with 20 minutes to go, is that Mulby's goal has made it 1-1. Rush. Here's Sammy Lee. Lawrenson. Owen Miller trying to get it away, and Rush almost in. Clement saved. Lee crossed again, and Spurs defence are suddenly going through one of their torrid times. Miller was all over the place, and Clements had to save them again. Johnston, Rush! It's beginning to look wide open in there now. Ian Rush has got the scent of goal in this second half, particularly the last few minutes, after a very thin time earlier. He was certainly foiled initially by Ray Clements there. A good block from close in. Signs now that Liverpool are perfectly capable of coming back and winning the game. Peter Shreve on the Tottenham bench, just caught sight of him there, will be anxious about the way the match has turned. Sammy Lee's in there. Tottenham aren't clearing the ball well. That's their main area of difficulty here. They're either taking too long or giving it away. Mulby. And Beglin. Tottenham's passing is all at sea at the moment. Perryman's falling over, and so is Whelan, and that's a free kick. Quickly taken. Liverpool, the team that want to get on with it now. Mulby again, and Spurs will be sick of the sight of him this season. He scored twice against them up at Anfield, both penalties if I remember rightly. Hit the bar here with a header when it was 1-0 and then equalised. And poor Miller and his defenders are not enjoying this period of the game. It's all happening around them. Allen. Hoddle to take the throw. Falco. To Hoddle. Hoddle's begun to run inside. Here's Chidozie. Beglin came from behind him. And Alan Hansen has the assurance to find Jim Beglin. And then to find Grobbelaar. Stuff from Alan Hansen, the Liverpool captain, who's still hopeful of getting into the Scotland World Cup party. This is McMahon, Lee. McMahon, who has been impressive in the way he's got up front in the second half, is there again. This is Mulby, though. That's a free kick to Liverpool. Lawrenson was fouled. We'll get Jimmy Hill's thoughts on the state of play after this has been resolved. Lee to take it. Here's McMahon. Oh, he's hit the bar again. Rush! Clemens saved it brilliantly, and Johnson fell over. What drama there in the goal mouth. Great shot by Steve McMahon. Deserved a goal, really, but Clements reacted marvellously well when the rebound chance came. And now he's up with rushes, Clements. No difficulty for him there. Well, that was nearly 2-1, Jimmy.
It certainly was, and you have to fancy Liverpool at this stage. Spurs really are remnants of the side that played so steadily, really, in the first half.
But here's Danny Thomas. Three in the centre waiting. And Falco. Good opportunity.
And that represents the kind of game that Falco really has had today. He's hardly ever been in it, which when you weigh it all up in the balance, it's bound to give Liverpool the advantages. Some players have really not been in the game. Huddle, who dominated in the first half, really is struggling to get back in it at this point himself.
Here's Johnston for Liverpool. Forcing a corner off Miller. Well, you can't question the entertainment value here now. We've had the bar rattled at one end, a headed chance missed at the other. It's 1-1. This is Beglin. Rushes in there again. Again, it's come out to Lee. And a deflection on that sends Clements back onto his line. But the number of times that clearances have dropped straight to a Liverpool player. Are you going to replay the crossbar, James? Here's Chidozie to Hoddle. And too slow. Johnston caught him. Mulby. And Paul Allen looking for a way out or a way back, and Liverpool are cornering them. Just look at this. Perryman's in trouble. Rush! Clemens saves again, and Spurs make you think they're almost committing suicide back there. They're nearly throwing the game away. And you can't do that against the Liverpool team, who've now got their teeth right into it. And a lot of that has come from the midfield. That was McMahon forward. And Miller away from Johnston. Gillespie, offside. Johnston far too slow coming back. Lawrenson. McMahon. Liverpool must be wondering quite how they're not in the lead now, especially after that last shot that hit the bar and the resultant save from Clements. This is Thomas. Perryman. Here's Whelan. And Thomas wards off the challenge from McMahon. This is Lawrenson. And Rush trying to get in behind them. And just over 11 minutes to go here at White Hart Lane. It's Spurs 1, Liverpool 1. A match of light and shade. Spurs illuminating the first half, but Liverpool certainly switching on all their renowned electricity in the second half. And by now, the lights should have gone out for Tottenham, in all fairness, but that second goal has eluded Liverpool. And never more so than when Steve McMahon crashed a shot against the Tottenham crossbar. It flew back, and how quick Clements was there to foil. I think it was Rush who had the shot. Tremendous effort, though, from McMahon initially. Perryman. Gary Stevens. Spurs midfield very much overrun in the second half. Now then, here's Rush. Whelan. There are 10 minutes left, and bear in mind, there are vital 10 minutes in the context of the First Division Championship. Liverpool could snatch 2 extra points here, but Tottenham, on the other hand, haven't finished yet their thoughts of winning. Here's Thomas. There's no championship chance for Spurs, of course, but how many points Liverpool take here could be significant, as all Evertonians will know. And for that matter, supporters of Manchester United, Chelsea and West Ham, all of whom are still in with a chance of the title. And the way Liverpool have played in the second half, you know how conscious they are of that particular situation. But Hansen's got to be quick now. And here's Begley. Whelan. Rush. Molby. Again, lots of Liverpool players forward. Rush again. Lawrenson away from Waddle. And again, the Liverpool players so much quicker to the ball. That was McMahon. Here's Rush. Only Beglin in the centre at the moment, though. Slippery over there. Here's Johnston. Molby's lying back. Now coming forward. Offside, Johnston. Oh, referee has given it. He said play on the foul, but then gave the offside. Well, this big Dane has had quite an impact in the First Division, and he'll almost certainly be part of Denmark's squad in the World Cup when they're in the same group as Scotland. Back on his feet now, Jan Molby. Gillespie's header. This is Lawrenson. Ball's out. Falco's approach work. Backing up was Hoddle. Waddle. Did nicely there, Waddle, and it's dipping, and Grobbelaar this time gets the kind of touch on the ball that Bob Wilson referred to at half-time and sees it to safety. It's a corner. Falco is in the 6-yard box. Miller has come forward. Shidozi. Waddle. 4 waiting in the centre here for Spurs. Still Waddle. And now Allen. And Grobbelaar spectacular and also there very decisive. Punched the ball out to Sammy Lee when there were 3 forwards waiting to snap up a chance. Lee again. Just under 6 minutes to go, and what has always been a pleasing game to watch is still finely balanced, because Spurs, having survived a very awkward 20 minutes when they weren't quite sure what they were up to in defence, have suddenly strung together a couple of moves of their own at the other end, and there's still time for either side to claim the extra points here. That was Hansen's header. Ronnie Whelan heads it down to Craig Johnston. Rush is waiting in the centre. It's still Johnston. Really well played by him, and he went down a bit late. And here's McMahon and Rush, and they're appealing for offside, and Johnston is down. All sorts of anger in the Spurs ranks about who should have cleared the ball. It was a twisting run by Johnston, who threatened to go through them all at one point. Gillespie. And Whelan. Used his elbow there on Gary Stevens, and he used his too. Well, there was no doubt in my mind that Whelan used his arm first, and then Gary Stevens retaliated. But it's been, for the most part, a sporting contest, this, well refereed and sensibly approached by players on both sides. There are 4 minutes to go, and Gillespie has gone up to try and meet the cross. It fell between him and Lawrenson. This is Mulby. Sammy Lee makes a run from the back. Corner to Liverpool. No doubt that they must pursue their ambition here to take all 3 points. That's what's made the 3-point system so attractive in many ways. Away sides now less inclined to settle for a point, which Liverpool today couldn't afford to do, really. Mulby will take the corner. Whelan! Really made his name for Liverpool in a match against Spurs, Ronnie Whelan, when he got 2 goals in the Milk Cup final of '82. Well, here was a chance perhaps for one of his specials from 15 yards or so. Just under 3 minutes now. Interception by Gillespie, helped on by Whelan, that's safe. Oh, and Sammy Lee against Danny Thomas. That could have put Tottenham in an embarrassing position. But their supporters hope that in the last couple of minutes, something might happen at the other end. Here's Waddle. Interception by Mark Lawrenson. Rush. Will be joining the attack through the centre, and there could be danger for Tottenham on this flank if he gets it out. Oh, Allen almost did it for him. Whelan, Beglin. But it's broken down now. Down on the Tottenham bench. What looked like not a comfortable victory, but a likely victory at half-time. Now looks anything but that, and here's McMahon trying to win it for Liverpool. Good challenge by Mabbott, but only out to Johnston. And Whelan's in the middle, and so is Rush, and Paul Allen concedes the corner. 1-1 with just a minute to go. And the Liverpool supporters behind that goal urging their team to clinch it here. Whelan short to Beglin. Back again to Whelan. Barnes on the edge of the area. Rush closing in. And he's still... handball. Handball, the whistle's gone. And these have been anxious times in the second half for Peter Shreve and his side, bearing in mind how well they played in the first 45 minutes. The renowned Liverpool resilience sees them through again, but it may be to only 1 point rather than the 3 that they really need. Oh, a misjudgment by Perryman, and here's Whelan. Rushes through the middle, danger here, and Rush, and a goal! They have done it! Kenny Dalglish thrilled to bits, just going into stoppage time, and Ian Rush, from a pass by Whelan, poked out his right foot and scored off the post what must surely be the goal that keeps Kenny Dalglish's team in the championship hunt. Steve Perryman made the mistake, as Peter Shreve will know only too well, because the ball bounced over his head and put Whelan in. Spurs would appear to have thrown it away, but Liverpool, all credit to them, have performed so well in this second half. Is there time yet for Tottenham? Allen. He forces a corner. So now it's Liverpool who have some last-ditch defending to do, but they won't have to do it. The whistle has gone, and Kenny Dalglish sees his side snatch victory thanks to Ian Rush's 20th goal of the season in the very last seconds. Liverpool supporters celebrate a dramatic finish. Spurs so useful in the first half. Liverpool so determined in the second. Grobbelaar relieved, and rightly so. But after Waddle had scored for Spurs after only 3 minutes, too good a start for them in many, many ways after what came later, it was the Liverpool machine in the second half that stormed back. An equaliser by Jan Molby after 66 minutes. And then, with the referee looking at his watch, going into stoppage time, Ian Rush with the goal, which says that the championship is still not over as far as Liverpool are concerned.
Well, here we were sitting saying what a hero Ray Clements was and how he'd earned Spurs a draw they didn't deserve. And up pops Ian Rush and gives that extraordinary ending to that game, really. It completed the excitement for the afternoon. In case some of you may have missed it, have a look now at the magic moments of that game.
Gary Stevens is in there. Back heel was by Hoddle, and Waddle. Grobbelaar did well. I'm not sure whether Waddle read that back heel by Hoddle quite quick enough to make the chance. Grobbelaar seems to be in some pain after making the save. Hoddle will take the corner. Miller is up on the near post, and the Liverpool physio did start to come on. And Grobbelaar stretching and in! Glenn Hoddle's corner seemed to confuse Grobbelaar completely, and it finished up in the back of the net, with Waddle making absolutely sure. Hoddle takes the corner, Grobbelaar gets a hand to it, and whether Waddle will claim that, this is a better view of it. Grobbelaar gets his hand on it, he turns it up, and yes, Waddle will claim it.
Hoddle.
Good ball, Chidozie. Waddle in the centre, so is Falco. And it's Waddle again! And it could so easily have been 2, because he got there ahead of Alan Hansen. And a sweeping move by Tottenham. Hoddle's ball out to Chidozie was brilliant. Chidozie's cross, Waddle's header this time misdirected. Perryman linking with Thomas. Past Lawrence and Danny Thomas. Tried to get it back to Stevens, and Lawrenson was there again. It's Hoddle. Well, that's what the crowds want to see. Appeals for handball by the crowd, but not by the players, and it's Danny Thomas who's sorting it out, but Molby gets it back. Johnston. Rush waiting in the centre. Again, he's very much on his own, but Whelan's joined him now. And it's going to come to McMahon. Fine save by Clements. At last, Liverpool got some more bodies in the area. Perryman half cleared it, but it went to McMahon. And Clements, at the expense of a corner, has made the save. Molby, Gillespie and Rush now await the corner. And Gillespie gets up. And Rush didn't make it. And another good save from Johnston this time, who holds his head. And Ray Clements, at 37, has made 2 saves in quick succession that say everything about his consistent career. And Clements here was absolutely certain in what he was doing. The first save was a fine one. The second one here from Johnston was first class. Here's Lee. And Molby, hit the frame of the goal. Clements could do nothing about that. And Molby so close to the equaliser. Liverpool have taken a quick corner. Johnston, away by Miller, whose hesitation might have led to that initially. But Liverpool have come out for the second half looking a lot more threatening. And when that ball came in, Molby's header clipped the angle where post joins crossbar. That was Hansen heading down, Thomas miscued, and Rush played it back, and Whelan fired it, and it came to Molby, and that's the equaliser that Liverpool have been threatening to score. Clements beaten low to his right, and Molby scores his 15th goal of the season to put Liverpool level after 66 minutes. Tottenham really had the chance to clear it. Danny Thomas felt could have done first time. It was played well though by Liverpool, then given away again by Spurs, and Molby found the corner. Lee to take it. Here's McMahon. Oh, he's hit the bar again. Rush! Clements saved it brilliantly, and Johnson fell over. What drama there in the goal now. Great shot by Steve McMahon. Deserved a goal, really, but Clements reacted marvellously well when the rebound chance came. Oh, a misjudgment by Perryman, and here's Whelan. Rushes through the middle, danger here, and Rush, and a goal! They have done it! Kenny Dalglish thrilled to bits, just going into stoppage time, and Ian Rush, from a pass by Whelan, poked out his right foot and scored off the post what must surely be the goal that keeps Kenny Dalglish's team in the championship hunt.
Well, what a thrilling match that turned out to be in the end, and hope we can keep that standard up, because I can tell you about football coming up on BBC One. On Tuesday, Cup Football in Sports Night special at 11:15. On Wednesday in Sports Night, Cup Football including Barcelona against Juventus in the quarter-finals of the European Cup. Match of the Day is on Saturday with 3 FA Cup matches, and also in Sports Night on Wednesday, the fight we've been waiting for between Frank Bruno and Jerry Coetzee. And let's hope Frank continues his knockout form in that one. Bob, a brief word from you on that match?
He should know better than to write them off, Jim. I know, I just had that feeling before half-time they started to come back into it. They paralysed Tottenham in the second half. The man you feel sorry for is Ray Clements. That is one of the best goalkeeping displays we've seen for a long time. But you just cannot write Liverpool off. Once they get it together, they just keep playing in that half. And they're well in there still in the title race. Nobody should just say that Everton are going to retain the championship.
To be fair, Spurs back four don't look much better than they have looked in the past today.
I think they were pulled ragged. I really think we should give the credit to Liverpool. They played very poorly in the first half, really, but they really pulled them apart. You know, Molby, that role that he had there, and just behind the front two, he created so many problems. It didn't surprise me that he got that equalising goal.
Well, nothing surprises us in this game at the end of the day, especially in the closing minutes of that game, when Ian Rush scored to create further misery here at White Hart Lane for Spurs, but keep Liverpool in that title race with a vengeance. Everton haven't got it all their own way, neither have Manchester United, and there are a few other teams like Chelsea and West Ham around too. We hope to bring you most of the excitement from there. From Bob and me, good afternoon to you.